President Castellanos, live stream is now in progress. You may turn on your mic and start the meeting.
Good evening and welcome to the July 17th, 2024 regular board meeting of the Capistrano Unified School District. The meeting is now in session and the time is 5:05 p.m. Ms. Hayes, please call the roll.
Trustee Bullicus.
Here.
Trustee Davis.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Pritchard.
Present.
Trustee Hannachek.
Here.
Trustee Parham is absent at this time. Trustee Castellanos.
Here. Ms. Hayes, before the board recesses, there any speakers?
There are none.
Okay, the board will now recess to closed session to address the following agenda items: student expulsion, B, conference with labor negotiators, C, public employee discipline, dismissal release, D, public employee employment appointment. The board will now recess to closed session. Thank you.
President Castellanos, the live stream is now in progress. You may turn on your mic and open the meeting.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the July 17th, 2024 regular board meeting of the Capistrano Unified School District. The meeting is now in session and the time is 6:05 p.m. Please note we have Spanish interpreters attending this evening's board meeting and they are available to anyone in the back of the room. Oral communications is an opportunity for the public to comment on issues that are not on tonight's agenda. Per board policy, the total time allotted for oral communications is 20 minutes with a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. The per speaker time may be less if there are a large number of speakers. Speaker cards for oral communications will be accepted until oral communications portion of the meeting begins. If we have students registered to speak to this evening on any agenda item, we will hear them before adult speakers. Purpose of a school or school district is to teach. In addition to typical academic subjects, we want to teach young people appropriate behavior and respect all points of view. Our students are watching and listening to us tonight. We appreciate your support tonight in modeling respectful and productive public discourse for our students and our entire community. All right, Ms. Hayes, please call the roll.
Trustee Bullockis.
Here.
Trustee Davis.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Pritchard.
Present.
Trustee Hanachek.
Here.
Trustee Parham.
Here.
Trustee Castellanos.
Here. Okay, tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance will be held by Mr. Bob Presby. Are you good with that, Mr. Bob Presby?
I am good.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, trustees, I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by trustee Davis, seconded by trustee Parham. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Motion carries 7-0 to adopt the agenda. Ms. Hayes, can you please read the report out from closed session?
On agenda item A1, trustees voted 6-0-1 to approve staff recommendation on the following case number 2024035. On agenda item 3B, conference with labor negotiators, no reportable action. On agenda item 3C, public employee discipline dismissal release, trustees voted 6-0-1 to approve staff recommendation on the following case. Resolution number 242501C. On agenda item 3D, public employee employment appointment, trustees voted 6-0-1 to appoint Dr. Kimberly Jenkins, principal, Capistrano Union High School, effective July 18th, 2024. This concludes my report.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize Dr. Chris Brown to present superintendent opening comments.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the middle of summer break in July. And in July, we have a light agenda, but it doesn't mean there's not a lot going on in the district. So actually, I wanted to highlight a few of our summer facilities projects that are going on during the summers when we get a lot of work done on the facilities because the students aren't in session. Obviously, the big one, construction is ongoing for our new building at Dana Hills High School. As you may know, we broke ground in December, and the new classroom building will be 2 stories with 7 classrooms on each floor and about 33,000 square feet. Really a 21st century learning space that's being funded with state matching funds that we were able to leverage from the state based on previous projects that we had done. The building is scheduled to open in August of 2025, so for the 25-26 school year. RH Dana Elementary is getting a new roof with construction to be complete before we open school next month. Funding for the roof is coming from the district's deferred maintenance budget. Tesoro High School's track is being resurfaced, funding provided by the Las Flores CFD dollars. Ambule Elementary is getting a new HVAC system scheduled to be completed in September. Funding for this project is through the Tirador and Whispering Hills CFDs and the district's deferred maintenance budget. Additionally, 19 schools across our system are receiving asphalt repairs or replacements over the summer, while our maintenance and operations teams and custodial teams are working through hundreds of work orders, cleaning, repairing, and preparing for the school year so when the kids come back, their schools are ready to go. In the very near future, we will also begin a stadium modernization project at Capo Valley High School using the Mission Viejo RDA as well as really leveraging, again, state matching funds from previous projects. And a new gymnasium at San Clemente High School, again, using RDA pass-through dollars and state matching fund and seismic dollars. So we have a lot of work going on in the district. I say that, and many of you have heard me say this before, so I'm repeating myself, but it bears repeating that our facilities budget, when it's compared to our facilities need over the 60 different physical plants we have, is not anywhere near sufficient. The state of California does not provide direct funding for school facilities outside of matching funds, which the district must have in order to access state dollars. So even with these constraints, our facilities team is doing a really good job of matching funds and utilizing what we've gotten in the past to spiral to matching funds for new projects, really to pick the projects that allow us to access the matching funds based on what we've done in the past, so we can continue to invest in our campuses with the limited funds that we have. And then I wanted to also bring up something. So July is the time when data starts coming out, and literally there's some data that hit my desk about an hour and a half before board meeting started. So I looked at it and it was worth sharing. So this year in Capistrano Unified, we had 9,873 AP exams taken by our students. That's a lot of AP exams. That's a lot of high-level coursework. And what's really more impressive is that the pass rate of those was 85% for our students. So our teachers and our students worked really hard last year, and the results paid off for those kids who, depending where they go to college, may have earned college credits and successfully passed a college level course in a discipline this year. So hopefully we'll continue to boost those numbers up next year. And as I dig through the data, I'll be able to talk about individual high schools in the future. But that concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, trustee Hanachek.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Brown, for sharing that good news. I'll look for the deeper dive too. It's really exciting. I just wanted to share that I had an opportunity to attend Supervisor Foley's roundtable on teen girls. And I was there with other school districts such as Newport Mesa and Irvine. And the topic definitely then segued to cell phones. And you and I have had this conversation. I shared that Finnish study with you, which is exhausting. I think I didn't make it through the abstract, but the anxious generation. So it's very much on everybody's radar. And I know it is for you and for staff. And I know that you have schools at different levels. So I just wanted to give my support for, like a study group or whatever you bring together, because we do need all the voices. I hear from teachers, students, parents, everybody's at kind of a different level. So if we can bring together a working group to see how best serve the learning environment for the kids. I mean, just some of my observations are that young people will override it when it's something they love to do, right? And no parent will text their child when they're in football or wherever or dance or performing. And we see it summer right now on the beach. Those lifeguards are 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, and they don't have their cell phone, and they can't, and they will get fired. So I think there's a wonderful median. We see that our children can go without cell phones, and I think it's a disservice to them to say that they're somehow terribly addicted. I don't like that discussion, but we also need to bring that voice of our parents along. So I want to continue that work, and thank you so much for starting it. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Parham.
Yeah, I appreciated your report about facilities, and one of the things I learned yesterday was the county Public Works has hired a consultant to update the general plan, and there will be community involvement over the next couple of years, and quite a bit of work is going to go into it. One of the things that dawned on me is that there may be some surplus properties at some point. And to the extent that we can have a dialogue with the county as they go down that process to put, community centers, there's a lot of different things that they'll be looking to do. And maybe that's a partnership that we can look at, as well as they reevaluate some of the traffic and school drop-off situations regarding OCTA. This is an overarching general plan update. So this is our chance. This is for the next 30 years. And they're gonna make these decisions in the next 2 to 3 years. So we want to be close in that discussion. Thank you.
Trustee Bolus?
Yes, thank you. Happy summer, everybody. I hope you're having a good summer season. Tonight, I'm very excited to share with you something. We just have, as we heard about our AP test scoring and all, but we've just got really terrific students that do great things. And one of the things not too long ago, it was students who brought to us the idea of getting solar at our schools. And that's why we have solar coverings in our parking lot here in the district office and at our high schools. And then sometimes we have individuals that have experienced something. And when someone experiences something that is very difficult, but they take that in their lives and they want to share it so others don't have to go through difficulties. So I want to share a story. I had a student, high school student, reach out to me in April and wanting to build awareness in terms of scoliosis. Now, I don't know if you know what scoliosis is, but my oldest brother had it in the 60s, and it's curvature of the spine. And I grew up with my older brothers where my mom was always checking our backs. My brother, unfortunately, was in body casts most of his childhood. And this student, unfortunately, had it diagnosed later on when it is more serious, and it was then a surgical procedure that had to be done, and it's very painful. Scoliosis of the spine, if detected early, can be treated. And I was speaking to a middle school PE teacher today who told me, oh yeah, we have students that have worn braces and all, and you know, they are eventually able to have have that apparatus help them to have a normal spine in terms of redirecting it. I want to share with you a couple of things that parents can look for in terms of what scoliosis is. Uneven shoulders or hips, mild ache in the lower or middle of the back area, tilted or uneven shoulders with one shoulder blade protruding more than the other. This affects 3 million youth in America each year. And that equates to 270,000 surgeries annually. In California, we used to do scoliosis screening through our public schools. And another story I have is I used to take my children to the pediatrician regularly every year. But in 8th grade, when my daughter was attending Newhart, she was sent home with a note that I should take her to the optometrist. And I said, well, Jennifer, why didn't you tell me you couldn't see very well? And she's a bright student. She got all A's, and she said, well, Mom, I thought everybody saw like that. I didn't know I had a problem. And I was like, whoa. So when this student came to me and shared with me that the public schools stopped mandating the scoliosis screenings 7 years ago. And I really feel that's a disservice because parents like me that take their kids to the pediatrician and think they're going to pick up on these things, we need to be in tune to these things out there that are happening. And so tonight we have with us the Tesoro High School student, Brooke Walker. Can you stand up, Brooke, please? Brooke has came to me in asking if there was a way to build awareness within Capistrano Unified School District. So in turn, we agreed to reach out to Renee Johnson, who's also in the back of the room, who is our Safety and Student Services Director #2, who in turn in the last few months reached out and has been able to identify businesses that are going to give all CUSD students annual screenings free of charge. So 2 of the locations we know of, one is in Rancho Santa Margarita and one is in San Clemente. But we're going to be meeting and Mrs. Johnson has offered to meet with Brooke and myself because Brooke has been volunteering with multiple mentorship programs. And has a good relationship. Her surgery was at Chalk and feels that there are volunteers there that might want to volunteer for helping to do screenings. So I think when we have a student who cares enough about others and wants to bring awareness and again, approached her school district, and in turn, our district staff turned around to see what we could do. And now that we're going to be able to provide that, they're working on a flyer that will go out and we will let parents know about it. But we do want to see if we can get businesses or possibly Chalk Hospital or Hoag or Kaiser, that we might have people who are willing to come to our schools, provided that our principals would like to have that at their school. And just so you know, early detection is important and it's generally through the ages of 9 through 12. And so we would be focusing, we'd be looking at the middle school students to try and identify early on. But I just want to share and to praise, kudos to Brooke for caring enough and seeing it through and asking what we could do. And that our school district was very responsive in wanting to do this for our students and for our families. So thank you. And thanks for being here tonight, Brooke. That concludes my comments for the evening.
Okay, trustee Hanachek.
Thank you, Judy. Can I ask a clarifying question? Obviously, it's been a while since my sons did the athletic exam in order for the waiver. So at that time, they would catch scoliosis often. So so we don't ask for that anymore on our athletic waiver that you know of? I mean, that's something that I was interested with the conversation, so that we always did.
So I would have to look at the athletic
Okay.
physical form. So athletes do have to clear a physical before they can be high school
And
athletes.
all those doctors
Yep.
would do it at that time because it was there, and and to Judy's point, we were catching at least those folks, those young people that were, trying out for a team or on a
Yeah.
team.
And I think both trustees Willikis and trustees Davis have asked about this as well in the past about the younger group, the
Got it.
middle school kids who aren't there. So it's not the
Sure.
14-year-old athlete, but yeah.
Okay,
So we are
thank you.
giving physicals to our high school athletes. This would be an additional resource for our community.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
But if I can respond to trustee Hanachek, again, what they're saying is the early detection before you need that serious surgery. And that really happens between ages 9 and 12. So that's what we want to do, early detection.
Okay, trustee Davis.
Yes, so thank you. Brooke, thank you for being here. I love that. Thanks for following through on that and making it come to fruition. Clark Hampton and I worked on it beginning last year when he was interim superintendent with and DSC physical therapy down in San Clemente with Kevin Dean, who's offered his services free of charge and has been diligently navigating that for this last year. So thank you. And thank you to the organization up in Mission Viejo that's also going to handle that. And then I also want to comment on and dovetail on to trustee Hanachek's comments regarding phone-free zones. And Superintendent and I have been speaking about that this whole year. And it is something that children, parents, community members, teachers have been asking about. So I'm so grateful for the work that's being done in that regard to help that come to pass. So I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. We're so blessed to live in the United States of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. In honor of Parents' Day, which is coming up on July 28th, I want to wish every parent a happy Parents' Day. In 1994, Congress unanimously passed the Parents' Day resolution, establishing the 4th Sunday of July as a day to celebrate the important role of parents in their child's life. Unfortunately, California has moved further and further away from respecting the role of parents. In fact, California recently became the first state in the nation to bar schools from notifying parents about their child's gender identification change. Governor Newsom signed AB 1955 into law, which strips away parents' ability to stay informed about their child's education, healthy, safety, and welfare. The bill creates a wedge of mistrust between parents and teachers and between parents and their own children. 9 months ago, I brought forth a parental rights policy to ensure that our schools are transparent in their relationship with every parent in the district. This policy would allow families to be a part of all conversations in schools regarding their child's health. Unfortunately, it fell short of passing by 2 votes. The defeat of the parental rights policy and the passage of AB 1995 leaves teachers in a terrible position of having to conceal information about children from their parents, leaving parents unaware of important aspects of their children's lives. My message to parents is clear. Do not lose hope. This is not over. We are fighting for you. Keep praying and getting involved. I will not stop until the rights of parents are fully restored. Thank you.
Okay, trustee Jones.
Yeah, so very quickly, I want to welcome Dr. Kimberly Jenkins, who will be our new principal of Union High School. I don't know if she's listening, but trustee Hanachek and I were on the interview panel, and she's going to be. I'm sorry. Trustee Castellano, sorry. I looked in that direction. And she gave a great interview. I think she's going to be a wonderful addition to our district. I don't know if she's listening, but if she is, welcome to CUSD. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to do that anyway. I was looking today at an article about the inaction of AB 1955 when the governor signed it. And that article includes a picture of adults with signs saying protect family bonds. And I think this was, I saw the picture before. It was at a board meeting in another district. I am a huge believer in supporting parents and all families and students and staff members. And I believe in family bonds and the importance of family and keeping families together. All this is so important to me. But I don't think involving school employees in an issue that belongs within the family is effective at maintaining the family bond. And as a matter of fact, I think it is against family bonds to involve the school in something that is a family issue and belongs in the family. It's my hope that all parents will tell their children that they will support them and love them as they go through adolescence, which is if all of you remember, a very tumultuous time. And tell them that they want to hear what's happening to them during these years of self-discovery and figuring out who you are. And if families do this, I think the bond of family has the greatest chance of being maintained and even being strengthened. Thank you.
Okay, we are now moving on to oral communications. The total time for oral communication shall be 20 minutes. Individual presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 unless we have a larger number of speakers. So complaints regarding district employees should be addressed by completing the district's formal complaint form available on the district website. All right, Ms. Hayes, how many speakers do we have for oral communications?
We have 21 speakers, so normally we would only take 20 at 1 minute each. Would you like to hear all 21 now at 1 minute each?
Yes.
Instead of waiting till the end of the meeting? Okay, I'm going to call up and I ask that you line up in the order and then state your name, and we want to keep you in the order of the cards. So I thank you for your support tonight and doing this quickly and efficiently. Our first speaker is Pam. Following Pam, we have Walt Baxter, Shireen Smith, Margaret Moodian, Linda Moore, Sandra Cup, Veronica Yap, Lisa H., and Sarah Phillips. And Luca Klaus will be speaker number 10, and then I'll call the next 10. Pam, please come forward.
This is an acronym for family. F stands for the fact that God created male and female to procreate and have children, creating the family unit. A stands for anchored in unconditional love through mountains highs or valley lows, the family unit. M stands for meeting the needs. The parents financially, emotionally, mentally support their children through all their developmental stages. The family unit. I stands for each individual person making up the unit to blossom. Again, the family unit. L is leaning on each other, speaking truths, growing in character. And finally, at 18, leaving the family and becoming the independent adult that is the goal, the family unit. Y stands for you. Are you on the side of the family unit? The strong family unit that represents 98% of your constituency? Please support the parents and the family unit.
Our next speaker is Walt Baxter. Walt, go ahead.
Hey, thank you for a chance to speak to the board and the public here today. I just wanted to highlight another positive thing about our school district that's coming up. We are about 1 month away from kickoff, which you've probably noticed if you've driven past a high school. You have seen band, cheer, football, 3 football teams at most of our high schools prepping for the upcoming season. I just wanted to say we're all very proud of all of our student athletes, coaches, staff, and certainly the teachers that get everybody ready for the season. I wanted to give a special shout out to my high school, the high school that our son went to. It's San Clemente High School. In case you don't know, the Orange County Register's Steve Fryer, who is a well-renowned local sports writer, has named San Clemente as a top 2 or 3 high school as the best environment to watch a high school football game year after year. So if you come for the tri-tip sandwiches or the desserts at halftime, whatever you come for, get your tickets soon. They're going to go quickly. And I just want to hope that I can see everybody out there. Thank you.
Shireen Smith.
Hi, Dr. Shireen Smith, retired superintendent Laguna Beach and longtime San Clemente resident. First, I want to say kudos for those AP tests. My husband was an AP Euro teacher at Aliso Niguel High School for over 30 years and always had amazing test scores, worked really hard. I wanted to talk about school safety tonight, which we all worry about. I'm grateful that Capo has heavily invested in safety training and resources for many years. This month marks the 15th year the Orange County Safe Schools Conference was held. It was held in Garden Grove this month through the efforts of former Executive Director Mike Beekman and the Orange County Sheriff's Department. Capo was instrumental in launching this conference when it first started 15 years ago. Over the years, it has become one of the best in the nation. And I'm just going to read off a couple of the topics that were in the workshops this year. Breaking the social structure of bullying in schools, help students navigate social media challenges and stay safe, the evolution of active shooter threat response. Please continue to invest in safety and security at our schools. Thank you.
Margaret Moody.
Hi, everyone. Great to see you. My name is Dr. Margaret Moodian, and I live in Rancho Mission Viejo. My son goes to Ambule in San Juan Capistrano. He's there because he's in the STARS program. When I told him that I was speaking to the board, he asked me to share photos of him. I am here to share my support for the board, and I'm very grateful for Capistrano Unified School District and all of you for making good decisions that are supporting our wonderful district. I'm grateful especially to Amy Hanachek for being such a wonderful advocate for my son. Thank you, Dr. Chris Brown. You've done a wonderful job so far. So just want to share my appreciation. I hope to continue to see you in the upcoming year. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Linda Moore. Linda, please come forward.
Hello, my name is Linda Moore. I'm a retired CUSD teacher, and I would like to quickly address a comment made during open communications at last month's board meeting. This comment stated that our school district was in reality controlled by the teachers union. Now, being a longtime teacher, it was hard not to laugh at that. And it brought back memories of my 30 years of teaching, in which contract years I watched as our teachers union essentially had to beg for small salary increases and minor improvements in working conditions for teachers. Does that sound like a powerful, all-controlling organization? No, because it isn't. Really, our union, the Capistrano Unified Educators Association, works hard with the district to
Thank you.
better
Our
the
next
lives of
speaker is
teachers.
Sandra Cup.
Hi, I'm Sandra Cup. I'm a former teacher and administrator at CUSD. And last night I went to a concert at San Juan Hills High School. It was a wonderful concert. I have some programs here for you to see. It was alumni and students. And the alumni came back and wanted to participate because they felt strong about the program. So I thank the board for their support of music education throughout our district from primary on up. And I also want to thank the board for their decisions in allowing students to feel comfortable where they can talk to a teacher and feel safe and supported. And I will mention one other thing. I belong to AAUW, American Association of University Women. We send girls going into 8th grade to a university STEM camp every summer. We sent 10 girls this year, and we have no cell phones. And the parents sign, and the girls say, it was nice not to have the phone. So thank you so much for your support.
Our next speaker is Veronica Yap.
Good evening, Superintendent Brown, President Castellanos, and trustees. I have a junior at ANHS and an 8th grader at DJAMS. This will be my 6th consecutive year at DJAMS. I want to give a special shout out to Amy Verrecchio, the DJAMS principal. My son's 3 years at DJAMS were easy for my family because of the type of learner and this type of student that he is. My daughter, on the other hand's experience at DJAMS has been more challenging. Her mental health has affected her learning. My husband and I have gotten her the support she needed outside of school, but we were not sure how to navigate her support at school. Mrs. Verrecchio was instrumental in helping us navigate this new journey, and she's gotten us the support that my daughter has needed. Mrs. Verrecchio worked closely with my family so she can have a successful and positive experience at DJAMS. She is also her leadership helps her staff follow suit because her teachers were helpful as well. She leads by example, and her focus is students and families. Great things are happening at CUSD.
Our next speaker is Lisa H. Lisa, please go ahead.
Hi, I'd just like to share a message from Jessica Tapia to the educators in this room and the educators watching at home. Let the passing of AB 1955 only confirm for you how deeply your voice of truth is needed at such a time as this. What good parent or guardian wants critical information withheld from them about their very own children? Lying is a moral issue. Who dictates your morals? Will it be the government or will it be God? Advocates for Faith and Freedom, the pro bono firm who fought for her case, partnered with her, and after her settlement, their victory, they launched Teachers Don't Lie. They are ready to stand with the next brave teachers who refuse to forsake his or her morals at the schoolhouse gates. She won her suit for $360,000. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sarah Phillips.
Happy summer break and good evening to everyone. I'm Sarah. I have 2 kids in the district. For some reason, they wanted to come to the board meeting tonight, so I've got them here with me. And I attended CUSD schools K through 12. I want to give a shout out to my daughter's teacher from the 23-24 school year, Mrs. Anderson of Truman Benedict. She's been emailing parents weekly all summer with activities for us to do with our daughter to minimize learning loss. She is a real treasure, and my 7-year-old is definitely looking forward to the new school year. I also want to express my relief that Governor Newsom signed the bill to ban outing policies. I know some school districts will waste money on lawsuits opposing this legislation. I'm glad that Capo won't be one of those districts. I'm probably dreaming, but I hope the hateful anti-trans rhetoric is abated, at least some, but again, that probably won't happen. I'm grateful that our California lawmakers believe in protecting student rights and privacy, and that educators and staff are trusted to act in the best interest of students in their care. And I'm grateful that the majority of our board believes that too. Thank you.
Luca, please go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Luca, and I'm the Capistrano Unified Council Parent Teacher Association, PTA, Advocacy Co-Chair. We're a volunteer-based organization. Anyone can join, parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Here in Capistrano, we ask each school PTA unit a appoint a representative to attend monthly advocacy meeting. We advocate for parents and students at local, state, and federal level. Congratulations to Capistrano on receiving a certificate of recognition for being named to the 2023 honor roll by Assembly Member Diane Dixon. I am extremely happy that the Assemblywoman looked beyond politics and recognized the hard facts that Capistrano's academics are outstanding. The academic success is backed up by the hard data available to anyone for viewing at California dashboard. Thank you.
I'm going to call the next 10 speakers. I'll call the next 11 speakers. Amy Baxter, Linda, Jamie, Trudy, Amber, Shelley, Shan, Nancy, Amy Capella, Candace Boren, and Mary. Amy, please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Amy Baxter. I'm a resident of San Clemente and a CUSD parent. It seems that just as we settle into the summer routine here in South Orange County, the time comes for us to start thinking about the school year ahead. Back to schools displays are out at local stores, much to the chagrin of kids. The sun is starting to set a little earlier and the walk-through registration days are appearing on the calendars at home. I, for one, am so excited about the school year ahead. I am excited to see the continuation of the upward trajectory that CUSD is on. I'm excited to see what amazing things CUSD students will learn, build, create, accomplish, and celebrate in the 24-25 academic school year. Thank you for your continued dedication to our students. Thank you for pushing out the noise and focusing on the business of the district. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll see you all in the new school year.
Our next speaker is Linda.
Good evening. The transgender movement is an agenda promoting the mutilation of children under the banner Gender Affirming Care. It's a political movement that is standing against the naturalized heterosexual order and traditional family values. Some even call it transgender Marxism because it abolishes the distinctions between a man and a woman, transcends the limitations established by God and nature, and uses the struggle of trans individuals to transform society in a radical way. It has been revealed through FOIA requests that the America's leading pediatric medical association, American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, has quietly partnered with transgender activist groups to push child sex changes worldwide. But let us not call it sex change, but sexual mutilation. No wonder the castration business is booming. How can our publication be complicit in this? We need a parental notification
Next
policy.
speaker is Jamie.
Hi, thank you. I'm here as a parent. My daughter is going into 4th grade at RH Dana. And I wanted to just say thank you first and foremost for the facility updates at RH Dana, especially to Trustee Hanachek, that they are fixing the roofs because now they can learn in a dry environment, which is wonderful. We also just broke ground on a brand new community garden that the parents have worked really hard in the PTA to raise funds for. We're super excited about that. In September, we're having, it might be October, but during Hispanic Heritage Month, we're having our 2nd annual Hispanic Heritage Festival. I'd love to invite you all to come. Tons of great food, music, dance, everything. It's wonderful. I also just wanted to echo what Sarah said, that I am really grateful for the trustees who voted against the outing policy. And that just to remind all of us here that we are a public school. And so to continue to bring God into the conversation is not inclusive of all of us. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Trudy.
Hi there, I'm Trudy, a 27-year San Clemente resident and involved CUSD parent. Thank you, Superintendent, CUSD staff, and the leadership of this board for all you do to continue to make CUSD one of the highest performing school districts in our state. Thank you for choosing and supporting the leadership and teachers at our school sites. Under Chris Carter's direction at San Clemente these past 9 years, he's continued to focus on excellence in the classroom. And I know fellow San Clemente resident Brad Baker will do the same and continue that tradition. In all 9 years of my son's education here, as well as the 13 years of my daughter, We had the most extraordinary of teachers. Like many of our site administrators, these teachers are parents too and strive each day to provide my children with the highest level of knowledge. They were always open communication. I know my children could go to their teachers. In our house, we instilled in our children the highest level of respect for their teachers.
Our next speaker is.
Thanks to you for making children first.
Go ahead, Amber.
Okay. This district has stated that they are not transitioning children. Well, in a recent publication by the Daily Signal, there were emails from counselors and teachers in this district going back several years in regards to transitioning children without parental knowledge. There is even an email from a counselor asking teachers for names of their gender-confused students so she can set up meetings with them to help them start socially transitioning at school. Mind you, this is all without parental consent. So this district has been lying to parents for years. I want you to know you are not on the right side of this. Gender dysphoria is a mental health disorder with a high suicide rate, and it's not because of the parents. These kids need therapy, not secrets. I'm disappointed, but not surprised that only 2 members of this board wrote letters to Newsom asking him to not sign this bill. Every district should have sent him letters against AB 1955. If you think your enrollment was declining before, it's only going to get worse. You can only blame yourselves for not doing more to protect your students and this district.
Shelley, please come forward.
Hi, I'm Shelley Welcome. I came here tonight to thank CUSD for the incredible education my 4 children received. Most of their teachers and school administrators are still here. They're amazing. There's one in the audience out there. Thank you. My 4 sons were in the 2-way immersion and they were involved in arts, ASB, and athletics. So many of the educational opportunities offered to my sons and to CUSD students are unique and excellent. Teachers taught my sons to be curious, to work hard, to be creative, to be respectful, and to be kind in UCSD and in CUSD. They applied what they learned at universities they attended and now their careers. Our nation is so divided right now, but our schools and children do not have to be. It saddens me that people who are funded outside of our district are pushing misinformation or are trying to use our schools and our children for political gain. It saddens me that our district, our teachers and our school administrators and staff who work super hard are being attacked by people who want to push a political agenda.
Speaker is Shan.
I want to address the parent-teacher relationship. From the time kids are in preschool, parents tell teachers if their toddler is experiencing something outside of their typical behavior. Special needs parents are in daily communication with special ed teachers, as are parents of children with IEPs and 504 plans, with a team of academic advisors and teachers in middle and high school. Parents of neurotypical students receive communication from teachers, principals, and school nurses, and conversely, involved parents proactively reach out. If concerns at school involve depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, eating disorders, or learning disabilities, all included in the American Psychiatric Association's diagnostic manual, just the same as gender dysphoria is, parents will be notified. Gender dysphoria is defined as a feeling of distress. It does not mean every person experiencing this will become transgender. The progressive political cartel and the majority of this board have chosen to latch onto this as an LGBTQ issue. Detransitioners are surfacing. Those on this board who voted against parents will be responsible for the collateral damage. Last month, I asked for clarification as to how Capo came up with the identity support plan.
Sorry, your time is up.
Nancy Rohr, parent of 2 former Capo School District students. In a perfect world, any student questioning their sexuality could go to their parents and would talk to their parents, but it's not a perfect world. If you remember several meetings back here, a retired man who had been a teacher told the story of when he, as required by those times, outed a student to his parents about that student's sexuality. Later, not long later, he found that student had been beaten and bruised, and it devastated him. If you heard that evening, it had to devastate you too. I personally, some years ago, I worked with an associate. Oh, by the way, that was not the work of God when that student was beaten. That was not God's hand. Later on, I worked with an associate pastor, and her daughter found out a friend was thrown out because of their sexuality.
that associate pastor took that student in her house and let him live with her. That was God at work, if we want to discuss God. Thank you.
Amy, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Amy Luna Capelli, and I'm a resident of San Juan Capistrano. I just wanted to come here today to say thank you to the board for doing this especially important and sometimes difficult and mostly thankless job of being a board member. I want to thank you all for taking into consideration all student needs, their diverse backgrounds, religious beliefs, economic situations, learning styles, abilities, and disabilities, and using and making decisions on what is best for students based on research, data, the experience and expertise of our teachers, and the input and viewpoints of our students and parents. As a homeowner, I appreciate all that you do to maintain and improve the quality of our schools and on staying centered on students. So thank you.
Our next speaker is Candace. Candace, go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. I see a few new faces in the crowd, so a quick welcome from those of us who have been here regularly for months and years, invested in this district and all of the business that is conducted here, not just one manufactured issue. I'd just like to thank district staff and our outstanding principals for leveraging Proposition 28 funds to staff dedicated art teachers and provide regular art lessons at our elementary schools. Art is important. Students involved in the arts are 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement and twice as likely to earn a college degree. We are so grateful that the district is now able to provide it within the curriculum. I'd also like to thank this board for maintaining the integrity of this district, following the law, and keeping us out of expensive lawsuits that only hurt our students and their education. As the parent of 2 kids in this district, I appreciate you and I thank you for always putting academics over agendas.
The final speaker is Mary.
I don't know how this could be called an agenda, but the family bond will not be destroyed by AB 1955 if they are not brainwashing the children and confusing them at school with the so-called Safety Act. People don't realize that the American Pediatrics Association has joined with a group called WPATH, and you can see their website. And it's an agenda that has helped them to define what sex is, as if the Pediatric Association would not know as scientists. They have to go to a transgender site to find out a new definition, which is absolutely ridiculous. In the lifetime of a student who's been transgendered, it means $1 million profit for all the pharmaceutical companies, the surgeries and everything else. They do not care about children. They are cash cows for our society. And everything else you say about caring about the children, it's caring about the number one, money. And people on the school districts and things are being paid money to support this. Thank you.
That concludes our speakers.
Okay. All right, we are now moving on to discussion action items. So our first item, 11A, first reading board policy 1325, advertising and promotion. May I have a motion to approve board policy 1325, advertising promotion on the first read and waive the second?
So moved.
Okay, trustee Hannah and a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Parham. Okay, at this time, I'd like to recognize Clark Hampton, deputy superintendent, to present the item.
Thank you, President Castellanos, trustees. So the purpose of this revision is to clarify in our policy that there's no advertising on district property for non-district schools. And there was also some language cleanup, punctuation, and grammar adjustments to the policy. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Hayes, any speaker cards? Okay, trustees, discussion. No discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0 to approve board policy 1325, advertising and promotion on the first reading and waive the second. We're now going on to the next board policy, 11B, board policy 6146.1, high school graduation requirements. At this time, I need a motion to approve board policy 6146.1, high school graduation requirements on the first read and waive the second. May I have a motion? Okay, moved by trustee Davis, seconded. Seconded by trustee Parham. Okay, at this time, I'd like to recognize Carrie Johnson, Assistant Superintendent, Curriculum and Instruction, to present the item.
Thank you, President Castellanos and trustees. Staff is bringing forward these revisions to Board Policy 6146.1. Some of the key changes include bringing into alignment with California Education Code, adding ethnic studies for the class of 2030, revision of language for independent study physical education to include team sports under certain conditions, also aligning with state language regarding high school equivalency testing, and then finally, based on local decision about high school graduation requirements for non-public schools and residential treatment centers. Myself, Dr. Urves, and Clint Collins are here to answer any questions.
Okay, Ms. Hayes, any speakers? Okay, trustees, questions, discussion? Trustee Jones.
So I'd like to see this brought back, and the reason is I have some concerns with it still. One thing was that, it's the second paragraph, there was something taken out, which is a student who wishes to take a course from an entity other than the district for credit to apply for a district transcript must obtain prior approval. That was deleted. It is mentioned elsewhere in the policy, I believe. But the reason we added that, it was actually in the last revision, was that it's something that a lot of people miss. You cannot go to Saddleback and take a US history class and have that count for your US history graduation requirement, because that's not a high school. And in order to get a high school diploma, you have to take a class that takes the high school US history curriculum. We also have to approve electives that you want to take. So I was concerned at the time when we approved it last time that we really needed to get that up front in the policy so that people had more chance to notice it and not accidentally take a class that they thought might count for something when it wouldn't. So I'd like to see that back in. But there's another issue in the 1 semester course in health, item number 7. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sorry, hold on a second. It mentions that you can take courses over the summer through district summer school, OCDE summer school programs, or any other institution recognized as accredited by the University of California approved accreditation provider. Well, I reached out to admissions in the University of California at, UCI, and they do not have an approved accreditation provider. So I got some language that describes what they would require. Basically, they want you to take classes from an accredited high school, and there are some private schools that are not accredited. That's what they're looking for. So I think we need to bring this back next month with some revisions. I've talked to Dr. Johnson about them and not pass it on first read.
Okay, but we have a motion on the floor, so then I would need an amendment to that motion. Trustee Davis or Trustee Parham, do you want to amend?
I think if we don't.
Yeah.
That's correct. We don't need to.
Can I just get some clarification of what Trustee Jones, because she's been thinking of this, and this is the first time I've heard it, because we can't, of course, speak to each other. We have, so can I just have what she's saying, and if there's, obviously there's validity to it, and I appreciate you to see where we're going with this, what we need to do for next steps. Who do I look for? Terry.
Yeah, so we're more than happy to add that language in about to make it more clear and upfront approval ahead of time before students take courses outside. I think there's the reason that we included about accreditation is because we want, to your point, we want to make sure that the students are actually getting courses from an accredited institution. And we're going off of the UC portal, which does list a list of accreditation agencies around the United States, and specifically WASC in California. So that's why we made that reference.
Yeah, so really it's some cleanup language to be clear on what the accreditation institution would be and to reorder. So staff has no problem making some changes and bringing it back as a second read on consent.
We're good.
Yeah, so this policy will come back for a second reading.
Okay. Okay, got it. We are now moving on to 11C, which is first reading board bylaw 9110, terms of office. May I have a motion to approve board bylaw 9110, terms of office on the first reading and waive the second? A motion?
So moved.
Okay, moved by trustee Jones, seconded by trustee Parham. At this time, I'd like to recognize the superintendent to present the item.
Yeah, this is just some language cleanup in response to a law change that was done by the California Department of Education. So a few grammatical fixes were changed, and the language that says the term of office for members elected in regular election shall be 4 years commencing. It used to say on the first Friday in succeeding their election in December. Now it says on the second Friday succeeding their election in December. And this is just a response to a law change that we must make.
Okay, Ms. Hayes, any speaker cards? Okay, trustees, any discussion on this item? No? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, any opposed? Okay, carries 7. Motion carries 7-0 to approve board bylaw 9110 terms of office on the first reading and waive the second. Okay, we're gonna now move to consent calendar. Please note per board policy 9323, in accordance with the law, the public has a right to comment on any consent item. At the request of any member of the board, and any item on the consent agenda shall be removed and given individual consideration for action as a regular item. Each speaker is allotted 1 and 3 minutes per item, depending on the number of individuals who wish to speak. Okay, Ms. Hayes, any speaker? No speaker cards on consent. Okay. All right, trustees, any items you'd wish to pull tonight off consent? Okay, trustee Davis.
14A.
14A, okay. Any other trustees? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar with the exception of 14A?
I move.
Okay, moved by trustee Jones, seconded, I'm sorry, I missed that. Seconded by trustee Davis. Thank you. Ms. Hayes, please call the roll.
Trustee Bullockis.
Aye.
Trustee Davis. Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Pritchard.
Aye.
Trustee Anachek. Trustee Parham.
Aye.
Trustee Castellanos.
Aye. Okay, motion carries 7-0 by roll call vote to approve the consent calendar, except for the exception of 14A. So, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I think you said 14, but
Guys, I meant to say 15A if I did not say 15A.
okay. Ms. Hayes, did you get that 15A?
15A, all those in favor?
All those in favor say
15D.
15D. Okay,
You did bring my glasses in here, sorry.
okay. 15D.
Could we read?
What?
You can do.
Yes,
Both.
we can do a voice vote. But just for clarification, trustee Davis, you said D. D and Davis, got it. Okay, so all those in favor say aye of approving the consent calendar except 15D. Aye. Okay, any opposed? Okay, so that motion carries 7-0 except for 15D on the consent calendar, which I will now allow trustee Davis, you want to speak to that item?
Thank you, 15D. So it's the second reading on board policy 4040, employee use of technology. My question is for staff regarding, it's on page 197 or page 1 of 3, the very last paragraph, which starts with harmful matter includes matter taken as a whole. That's the best way to. So it's under the use, I don't know how to best explain it. Where is it? I mean, it's just, okay, online internet services, the third paragraph. I just want a better explanation on that paragraph. Harmful matter includes matter taken as a whole that the average person applying contemporary statewide standards would consider to be appealing to their parent interest or depicting of describing in a paternity offensively way sexual conduct that lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value for minors. Can someone best explain that?
Yes, that's taken from the penal code that's listed there, 313.
Okay.
And so this whole section would apply to our staff members using district provided either internet service or technology, that this would not be allowed. And this would lead to further discipline if any of that were to take place. So it just further clarifies where that would cross the line, where it was not be it lacks serious literacy, artistic, political, or scientific value for minors.
Great, thanks for highlighting that. Thank you.
Okay. I need a motion for 15D.
So moved.
Okay, moved. Moved by trustee Davis, seconded by trustee Bulkus. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 15D passes 7-0. Okay, there being no further business of the board, before we adjourn tonight, I'd like to pause here and thank you to our electronic specialist in the room, Corey. Stand up, Corey. We truly appreciate everything you do for us in these meetings, and Corey has served the district for 33 years, and tonight is his last meeting. So, we are going to adjourn tonight in your honor, Corey, but, we have a card for you. We'd like to take a picture, so you want to come on up?
I thought, go ahead and adjourn and then we can do that.
You can do that. You want to do that? Okay. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Moved.
Okay, moved by trustee, Parham, seconded by trustee, who's that second? Davis. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 7-0. The time is 7:05.